A Heat veteran is leaving Miami, as a report has revealed a wild update on the Miami Heat over the past couple of days. As we know, the Heat have a move they want to make in order to optimize the young talent on the team, such as players like Kasparas Giacochonis and Pelle Larsson. Both of these guys have shown a lot of great, specifically Pelle Larsson, who we're going to discuss, but also why the Heat getting rid of one of their veteran players is the right move, especially in regards to young talent and trades down the line as well, along with a ton of other stuff that's going to help this team out in general, and we are going to discuss all of that, guys. But before we do that, if you're part of the 79% that's not subscribed to Miami Heat Digest, make sure to subscribe for daily Miami Heat updates. We have a lot to talk about now that it is officially September. There's a lot of good stuff coming out about the Miami Heat, and they are not fully done making some moves, making adjustments to this team, figuring out the best roster going forwards to try to contend in the Eastern Conference. An Eastern Conference that is wide open, by the way, without guys like, or without teams like the Indiana Pacers or Boston Celtics really posing as threats this year. It feels like even though the Cavs and the Knicks are the two favorites, any team has an opportunity if they just break out and hit that next level. The Heat are definitely going to be one of them, and they're trying to figure out ways to do that. And one of those ways has been trying to optimize their team, getting another star to the roster, but also figuring out what works, what doesn't, who works well for this team, who doesn't, and while also trying to continue to build up on the young talent that they have. And because of that, we are now seeing one of the Heat veteran guards, leaving the Miami Heat, as there has been a ton of noise surrounding Terry Rozier and his future in Miami after an abysmal season last year that really saw Terry Rozier not be able to put it together in Miami the same way he was able to put it together with the Charlotte Hornets and Boston Celtics. There has been calls for Rozier to not really play or get any minutes at all, and also get moved off the Miami Heat, no matter how that's possible, whether it's a trade or cutting him or any means possible. Fans, they want Terry Rozier gone. Trevor Rozier? Who the hell is Trevor Rozier? Terry Rozier, they want him gone. And look, we have a huge update on that one because it was mentioned by Jake Fisher that sources say Miami still hopes to part with veteran guard Terry Rozier, even though there is said to be scant trade interest in the 31-year-old guard. Rozier is scheduled to make $26.6 million this season, and the Heat are said to have some interest in buying him out. To be clear, though, no buyout appears imminent. Last year, Rozier put up 10.6 points per game, 3.7 rebounds, and 2.6 assists. He shot 39% from the field and 29% from three. Rozier unable to score the ball like he was able to in Charlotte, where he had a season where he put up over 20 points per game. Now we're just seeing not that same guy. Rozier has struggled mightily to find his footing with the Miami Heat, initially coming in as a starting guard going forwards, potentially being their starting point guard. However, things quickly fell from the sky and really just came back crashing back down to earth, and now things have become very difficult for Rozier moving forwards with Miami. Now, on top of that, it's important to note that Friday is the deadline to waive and stretch any player. Waiving and stretching Rozier would put him on the books for $8.3 million for each of the next 3 seasons. To be bought out, Rozier and the organization would have to negotiate how much money he's forfeiting. The percentage is usually pretty small, but it would be a way to create some more flexibility without pushing money down the line. On top of that, what we would also see is the Heat making a sneaky move in order to creep lower or farther and farther away from that luxury tax. They are under the luxury tax, as it should be noted. I know I did a video yesterday where I read something off that said they were above it. That article, they were correct on a lot of stuff, but they did think Haywood Highsmith was still on the team. And obviously, we know that he traded Highsmith so they could get to that $1.7 million under the luxury tax. Now, if they're able to buy Terry Rozier out and Rozier forfeits some of the money, forfeits a percentage of the money, they can get somewhere around $3 to $4 to even $5 million under that luxury tax. That's room to sign 2 more players. If the Heat wanted to add another playmaker to this roster, for instance, just pulling the first name that pops in my head is like a Malcolm Brogdon or something, or Russell Westbrook, though, you could also go that route. You still have a few routes to go. You could try Ben Simmons. There's guys out there. There's still good playmakers out there that can be brought onto this team. And, well, Rozier, he has not been the playmaker the Heat needed. The Heat do have a sheer lack of playmaking depth when it comes to their guards on this roster. I mean, when we look at this Heat depth chart, there's good guards. Don't get me wrong. There's good guards. Tyler Herro, great all-star for a reason. Davion Mitchell, phenomenal playoff run. Kasparas Yakachonis, I see him more as a wing guard combo situation, but definitely not a real true point guard. Drew Smith, elite shooter, but the playmaking is a little bit questionable. Jameer Young, same thing. So what we see right now is a team that doesn't have the most guard depth when it comes to playmaking, and Terry Rozier fits in well there because he's not exactly the world's greatest playmaker either. And the Heat, they desperately could use another one. So if they're able to buy out Terry Rozier and get some money back, you could add 2 roster spots, meaning you can add another big to this roster, whoever that may be. You got a few options out there, maybe like a guy like a Bol if you want to stay very versatile, like you have Bam and Kel'el Ware out there, and Nikola Jovic could play a few different positions. Bol would be able to do the same thing. There are other more traditional guys as well still out there as well who can be brought in onto the team. And on top of that, you can bring in a playmaking guard, really making this roster a lot more rounded out well, which is very, very good. But on top of that, waiving Rozier does bring some young players more into focus. A guy like Yakachonis, who has played well in that NBA 2K26 Summer League. He struggled mightily at first, but when we look at his numbers from the 2K26 Summer League, we saw a guy who was putting up 15 points per game, 3.7 rebounds and 3 assists, getting nearly 2 steals per game, shooting 45% from the field and 35% from 3. Not bad numbers for the young rookie who really has shown a lot of potential going forwards. So, at the same time, we see a guy like Yakachonis get a little bit more minutes because he could do a similar role to Terry Rozier, except he's a little bit more versatile. And on top of that, there's other names that we can look at as well, and also we're going to look at them. But regarding the point guard situation for the Heat right now, what we're looking at is a guy like Tyler Hero, or not a guy like Tyler Hero, a guy who is Tyler Hero, being the starting point guard next year. He put up 24 points per game last year, 5 rebounds and 5.5 assists, made an all-star game, and was shooting 47% from the field and 37% from 3. We know how great Tyler Hero is. We don't really have to stick around on it. It's just, he's great. He's excellent. He's Tyler Hero. That's a reason why he's this good. On top of that, Davion Mitchell started to really find his footing with Miami, shooting 40% from 3, being one of the best on-ball defenders in basketball, shooting 42% on corner threes and 47% from the field. He also averaged 5 assists a game off the bench. He did play a lot of minutes. He did start sometimes as well, putting up 8 points per game. Also, Davion Mitchell is a very, very talented player who also showed a lot of good in the playoffs. I mean, he averaged 15 points per game. Along with that, he had 6 assists. He looked really good against Cleveland, shooting 50% from behind the arc as well and 61% from the field. So we saw Davion Mitchell have an excellent run. I mean, I know that he got swept in the first round. I'm not pretending like they didn't, but still, throughout that time, Davion Mitchell played excellent basketball, and that's something that really has to be highlighted here going forwards, because we're starting to see the breakout of Davion Mitchell, and that's why that siren is outside, man, because it's breakout season. We're about to see a new star emerge with Davion Mitchell, which is excellent. Can he be that point guard? If he can, it will be super helpful, because Tyler Hero definitely is more of a 2 guard, if you ask me. I know he's a combo guard. I know he can do both. I like him at that 2 position. I think he fits a little bit better there. And then now, also to optimize the young players, you look at a guy like Pelle Larsson, who over his last 3 games overseas, the man went for 28 points, 23 points, and then 10 points. He's consistently gotten better and better. Shot 10 for 20 from the field, 3 for 9 from 3, which isn't bad. But also, Pelle Larsson is someone who needs to work on that 3-point shooting. So seeing him have the confidence to shoot 9 threes twice in a row is an excellent sign. And I mean, overall, the numbers are good there. I mean, when we just look at him, he's put up in that span 51 points, if I'm not mistaken. Well, 61 points, because I forgot to add the 10 right there. And, you know, divide that by 3. Guy's averaging 20.33 points per game. So we're seeing a guy who's putting up over 20 points per game overseas right now in this Eurobasket stuff. So we do need to see Pelle Larsson get more activity on the court. I think that's super important. And Hot Hoops mentioned that, saying, in a perfect world, it's best for both sides to no longer be invested in a partnership. Terry Rozier is expected to be out of the rotation at the season start. Barring injury, ideally, you don't want him to stint the potential growth of Kasparas Yakachonis, Pelle Larsson, or Davion Mitchell. And most importantly, his on-court fit remains questionable alongside Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero. However, for a buyout to occur, the player must forfeit that percentage of his salary. There isn't much downside from a team perspective, given they would get a little more flexibility. In this case, they would likely allow the Heat to sign another veteran minimum contract to remain below the luxury tax, a threshold they're currently $1.6 million under, not 1.7, excuse me. But at the same time, what we see is the Miami Heat be able to get this, and potentially, if you can get even more, maybe get 2 of those minimum contracts, and that'd be excellent for the Heat going forward. So I like Terry Rozier as a person, but as a player, you know, also the gambling thing. So maybe I shouldn't go, I like Terry Rozier as a person. I don't know Terry Rozier as a person, so I don't know what he's like. I was just trying to be nice, because I always feel bad when I'm like, this guy should get cut. It's just, I feel guilty about saying stuff like that. But what do you guys think? I think it's a win-win-win for the Heat to cut Terry Rozier and bring in 2 new talents. And also on top of that, win-win-win-win, because you also get to have these younger guys play who really do show high potential. Let me know in the comments down below how you feel about all this. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you later. I did try to get it to 10 minutes just because I saw how close we were. And I don't know, it was like some OCD stuff.